Welcome back to the series of reviews on Commander's Combaticons. In this one we'll be taking a look at Blastov? Leave a like, subscribe and comment down below your answer to the question at the end of the video. Okay, fine, I'll address the elephant. Obviously this is a slingshot repaint. Boo-hoo. And I'm honestly fine with it. I mean, I do wish it was a Fireflight repaint, as that one's head sculpt fits Blastov better, but it is explained in the lore. Onslaught got tired of Blastov never truly being on the battlefield, so he told Blastov to change his alt mode to something more earthy. And I am buying it wholesale. Oh, and also, fuck does a space shuttle do in a team of military vehicles? Space combat? One that never was, is or ever will be? And for repaint, it's pretty spot on in terms of the color layout. The mode is pretty Ghibli. You get the whole nose cone on the back, the wings that hitch at an awkward place, making the silhouette atrocious. The rear fins also just stick out, pretending to be heels, and then these things with no clear purpose. I wish said wings were on a swivel joints, so you could point them up and get them out of the way. For articulation you get a bulge on the head, but as usual, this fucker only got a swivel joint, bulged in shoulders with a transmission joint in the torso. One could use as wide shoulders, bicep swivel, elbow band, waist swivel, bulging at hips, thigh swivels, knee band, 15 points of articulation. Pretty basic, but you can make a pretty convincing sleeping pose. For accessories you get the usual hand-foot gun and an unpainted grey gun. Again, no idea why it's unpainted. And that's pretty much it for the robot mode. Onto combined forms then. The arm mode is pretty good. Not without flaws, but one of the better ones in the line. The wings not being able to point up really does inhibit some posability, but not too much. And the tail fins really don't want you to proc Shockwave on his arm. Well, unless you turn the forearm around, which again is really stupid. Why would you want a mile-long forearms and tiny shoulders? And I think this configuration of Blastov's arms looks better, but it also fucks up posability when used with Bruticus. On Galvatronus you can get the arm out just fine, pretty much both ways, but not on Bruticus, so you really want Blastov's shoulders out of the way. And you can indeed make a better flamethrower than both UV/POTP and AOTP. The Shin mode is meh, it's just meh. It's the same size as all the other Shin modes, but it just feels thin and weak. Like, look at Sundo's Shin mode, it's big and beefy, and you can just feel the muscle in there. Blastov? Nah, none of that. And you can make it even worse by folding the wings around the body. So, the controversial jet mode. And it's pretty good. It's not really a robot under a jet. A good chunk of the jet is the robot mode bits. Obviously it doesn't hold a candle to a Jet Hatter, but Jet Blastov is not that bad. The only really bad thing about it are the feet sticking out. You even get a landing gear and a rubbery nose you can easily tear off. Don't ask me how I know it. And I don't know if I have dementia or just stupid, but the KO really does feel like the official, and I don't know, it just feels really nice in hand. And unlike the original, the KO's elbow joints aren't gonna just snap off. They actually pin them this time. He also gets a unique G1 accurate gun, and I think this one is the best one I've printed. And so, let's see how Jet Blastov stack ups on the blade board. Starting in the loose category. For accuracy I give it a 1. As much as I prefer Jet Blastov, the cartoon disagrees. So if you want the cartoon Blastov, then you should get either the Tokarev Unite Warriors, /Power of the Primes one, or the Age of the Primes one, neither of which I'm ever getting. For one he's ridiculously expensive and just not worth the money, and the other is part of a just terrible combiner. But I can give it an actual 0, because there is at least some attempt at matching the color layout to the design, and I can't even find a single image of Blastov's alt mode from IDW to at least twist this category in Blastov's favor, like how I did with the Vortex. For robot mode I give it a 3. It's pretty Ghibli and that headscope just doesn't feel Blastov at all. But I can give it a 2, like I should, as it does put a smile on my non-existent face after all. For alt mode I give it a 4. It's really damn good, but just not quite perfect. Play category next. For articulation I give it a 3. It's a basic set of joints plus extra wide shoulders, which I don't count higher or even on the same level of usefulness as ankle pivots or just a greater range and elbow knees. For transformation I give it a 2. It's really stupid that you have to untap the chins from the waist in order to turn the combiner around, but it's a minor nitpick overall. For gimmicks I give it Scramble City, it's 5 after all, and the combined total is 18, which puts Jet Blastov at the bottom of the list. Paints my spark, but the rules are the rules, which yeah, probably should add cool factor into the looks category. But hey, here's the question of the video: how can I improve the blade board? Should the accuracy and cool factor categories be interchangeable altogether? Because the current structure just kills super stylized figures. So what do you propose I do with this mess? So there you have it. Tune in next time for Onslaught. Goodbye.